everyone, and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Coco Creates. I'm Zoe, and this this is Coco, as excited to be on the camera as she ever is. Come on, it's Christmas time. You gonna smile? She is purring, I promise, but she's just not impressed. Anyway, so welcome to my WIP Parade, my annual WIP Parade. So this is just going to be a WIP Parade. So there's I'm going to have a separate video for goals and a separate video for like what I've been doing in December. So yeah, so purely a WIP Parade. Hopefully it won't be too long. I've tried to get slightly more organised, fingers crossed, but we will see how we get on. So what I've done is I've ordered my WIPs in order of when I started them. So I'm going to be showing them in sort of date order, because that kind of made a bit more sense in my head as to trying to work out for my goals and plans for next year. So I thought I'd do them in date order, and then hopefully as I go through the year and into my next WIP Parade, the oldest ones will have already been finished, so it'll get, you know, moved down a bit. That's the plan anyway. So I don't have photos of all of my WIPs. I don't have the like the cover photos for all of them. So I will be inserting those when I need to, or if I do have the real one, I will show you. And I will be inserting photos of my progress, so like where they were at the start of the year, so that you can compare the progress with them. Most of them I'm hoping I do have photos for, but some of them I might have to grab screenshots from previous WIP Parades, especially because some of my WIPs I haven't actually worked on this year. I think that's everything. Let's get started. Now, saying all that, my first one I don't have a photo for, so I will be putting a photo of the stock photo in first. So this is a piece by Soda Stitch Designs, and I have got my spreadsheet up there with all the information on, so I will be kind of going back and forth. Hopefully it won't turn itself off. But where are we? So, which is not in alphabetical order, because of course not. So yeah, so this piece I started, there we go. This piece is my oldest piece, and I started this at the end of August back in 2016. So this piece is now, oh gosh, what's that, 9 years old. It'll be 10 years old next year, which for a piece so tiny, that is quite sad. So hopefully I've put in a piece where I started the year, and this year, and it really doesn't help that I've got them on 2 separate sheets, but this year I put in a total of 427 stitches. So not that much progress. I think I rolled it once on my WIPopoly board, and I managed to finish this cup over here. 427 doesn't sound like, I thought I'd worked more than that, but not according to my spreadsheet. So either that or I put the numbers in wrong. But either way, so where are we? So I finished that cup this year. No. So I think I've got this little piece up here to do that matches over there, and then I think there's a banner at the top as well, but then that will be like the top third complete. So I've got 3 rows of goodies to be putting on here. This is stitched, I got it as a kit, so it's stitched with the kit threads and the kit fabric, which is a 14 count Ada. I think the only change I've made is some of the Soda Stitch designs, I find them a bit too blocky, so I have gone around and kind of added half stitches where half stitches would make a bit more sense. I can't spot anything like that offhand here. Oh, but sort of in the, like the wafer that's sticking up there, if I hadn't have added the half stitches in, it would have kind of just been one line of crosses and a lot of blank space. And I just felt it needed to be a bit fuller, so I have been adding that. And I believe I'm missing, I'm not going to be stitching the words in. I don't think it needs the words, so I'm not going to bother that, apart from obviously the banner at the top. But either way, that puts me up to a total of 1,266 stitches on here, which I have estimated, because I've estimated the total number of stitches, that only puts me at about 16.8%. I might just be wrong in my estimating the number of stitches, but yes, so that is my first WIP. I would like to get it finished this year. Well, 2026, so next year. I definitely would like to have it finished before it turns 10, but you know, a finish for the end of next year would be good. I think there's six more, you know, there's 3 things, there's 6 more things, there's 9 on there. So like, could I complete one a month? Like, I mean, yes I could. So would that be a goal to put in? I'm not sure. So I'm trying not to venture too far into goals this video, else it will be ridiculously long. So we will just keep it as WIPs. But yes, so that is my first WIP done. So my next WIP isn't on this pile, because my next oldest WIP is my full coverage, my bath time piece. So I will be inserting videos, a video of this sort of done up close, as well as a photo of the completed one. So here's what it's going to look like when it's finished. So this is a piece from Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Selena Fennick. And I started this on September the 1st, 2017. You won't believe how many notebooks I've had to go through to find all of these start dates, because I kept adequate records, but I never kept them all in one place. So yeah, I had a whole stack of like diaries and journals and notebooks and scraps that I've had to collect to get these dates. So yeah, September 1st, 2017. So that means this one is 8 years old now. I had originally set a goal of trying to get it done in, I think, was it 5 years? Obviously not. So yeah, so my goal had been to get this done in 5 years. Obviously it is not. I'm way off that goal now. I mean, could I get it done in the 10 years? That nearly gives me 2 more years. I also don't think so. But you know, we're getting there. We passed the second corner this year. And so we're on the, oh my god, what's the word? You know, the last leg. Like we're on I'm doing it in stripes, so the stripes are getting shorter. So I'm doing this in 20 stitch wide diagonals. Oh, I forgot to mention this is on 25 count, and it's 1/1 full cross. But yeah, so I'm doing this in 20 stitch diagonals, sort of up and down, ziggy-zagging across. But they will be getting shorter now. And we have, let's see, I put in 28,311 stitches this year. It was part of my WIP Go for the year, which was just over 12.5% I added. So that leaves me at the end of the year on 66.12% completed, with a total number of stitches as, where are we? 148,112, which is the exact opposite of a round number there. But yes, there we go. So like I said, I'm not sure how much, I mean, how much is left to clear? But 66, what's that, 34? So yeah, we're about 2/3 of the way through, and I've got the last third to do. So I mean, 8 years to do 2/3, that gives me 4 years to do the last. Like, hopefully it won't take me 4 years, but you know, we'll see. And I'm hoping it'll be a bit quicker this time, because at the bottom we've got so at the top we had a lot of the wallpaper decoration, which was quite confetti heavy, whereas towards the bottom, sorry, towards the middle, you've got the bathtub, which is actually the majority of it is quite blocky. So I might end up getting through some of that a little bit quicker. So it may be a bit faster. But anyway, we will see. So my next, so I'm trying not to talk to the laptop. Right, so my next piece, my next oldest, where's the date? So I started this one on June the 1st, 2018. I do have a picture. Aha. So, and this is a piece from Shiny Suns Designs, and the artwork is by Misty Woodkey, and it is 3 baby dragons. So again, I'm working this one in diagonals, and we started in the opposite corner for this one, and we're coming down this way. I did this year purchase the PDF version because at the time when I bought them, they Shiny Suns only offered paper copies. However, they do PDFs now, so I bought the PDF, and that greatly helped the speed of my stitching. So because it meant I was able to put it into Pattern Keeper, whereas trying to use the paper copy on markup was really struggling to find the symbols. So it meant I was having to look for all the symbols as we went, whereas having the PDF version on Pattern Keeper, it can find the symbols really easily. So yes, so we have managed to speed up on that one this year. And this year I put in, again, it was part of my WIP Go board, so I put in 26,430 stitches, so almost as much as what I'd put into my bath time. But I added 33.04%, which has left me at almost 43, so I'm at 42.94% for the year. And and here is where we are ending. So you see I got an awful lot of progress done this year having it on my WIP Go. Oh, there's a nice fold in there. We did reach this corner, however I still need to finish for the diagonal. I sort of still need to finish this section here. This is that nice big chunk of black, so that I just kind of did the chunk of black and then came and worked down here on it. But this is on 18 count Ada. This I did have to boil quite aggressively to try and get the sizing out of the Ada to make it a bit softer and easy to work. You can sort of see it's quite floppy now compared to a piece like this that has a lot of sizing in. You can see there's no flop to it, it's foldy, and this is, yeah, a lot more floppy. But yeah, so we completed our first baby dragon, and we found the wings and the tail of our second baby here. But yes, so like I said, that's the bottom. I was very close to the bottom of my fabric there, especially on the Q-snap, so I did just sew a random piece of scrap fabric to it, just so the Q-snap had something to hold. But yeah, so I'm doing this in all the called for DMC, 2 strands over 1 18 count. But yeah, so I will be I finished the year on a total of 34,351 stitches. Is there an out of there? Oh, out of 80,000. So yeah, so almost there. Not almost there at all, but anyway, so nice good chunk of that one done. So my next piece is okay, I've got these are the next 4 pieces. I all started these on January the 1st 2019, so I don't know in terms of like which one I started first, but they were all kind of my new day, new starts that I started on New Year's Day. So this one we'll go with first. This is by Ink Circles, and this is the map cell, so the Mysterious Adventure project. There is no final picture because it's a like choose your own adventure. So everyone's was different size, different shape, had different borders on, different land outlines. You sort of rolled a dice to determine which way your land was going to go, and if there was any turns or creeks or bends. It was all on a dice roll, so everyone's was completely different. And then in the chart pack you get a whole bunch of different designs that you can use, a whole instruction of how to do your nameplate and your windrows there and the border. So this year I worked on this bottom section here. Apart from sort of adding in some little waves just to indicate this is the water, this bottom section is done, and sort of this here is done as well. So we're about halfway in terms of all of the pieces. So let's see if I can find it. So this year, no, I thought I'd worked on it this year. Well, according to this, I didn't even work on it this year. That's been a long year, because I'm pretty sure, like, I swear I worked on that. I must have worked on this last year. Well, you'll see if when I go to show you the before picture that I'm going to insert. Obviously, if it looks exactly like this, I wouldn't have bothered putting it in. So no work on this year, but still halfway. But yeah, and this fabric is a piece of 32 count even weave that I bacon basted using one of Honna's tutorials. And I think so it worked out to maybe about 34 count now. And I'm using a variety of strands, so some sections have been worked over 2, some motifs like this little ship here has been worked over 1, the lighthouse is over 1, the border itself is over 2. The border was using one of the Coloris sort of variegated threads in the greens and purples. But yeah, so using a variety of stitches depending on how big I want the motifs. But yeah, so that is that one. And so total stitches, obviously without any going in this year, I had already added 1,373, but I believe that was all from last year, so that was irrelevant. Yes, that's that one. So next, I have worked on this one this year. This is my Humans After All, and this is by Clouds Factory, and here's what it's going to look like when it is finished. So this was a sale from I believe it was the 2018 sale they had, but by the time I'd started it, I believe the sale had already finished, or had nearly finished. So this is done on the kit fabric with the kit threads. I bought it as all together from Clouds Factory, and this is a 32 count antique from Picture This Plus. It is what it was called for anyway. This is a bit of a long one, so I'll try and get it all in here. So this is the top left corner, and I've almost reached the other corner there, so which will be the top shelf, and then the middle shelf I've kind of already got to the halfway mark, so I'm about halfway through, give or take. And this goes all the way through history, so you've got sort of Neanderthals here, and sort of cave drawings going through. You've got the Maya, the Egyptians are somewhere here. I think the Egyptian is at the end, that's what I'm coming to next, is like Cleopatra. We've got some Romans here, and then we've got some technological advances here, so we've got the flying contraptions from Da Vinci, and we've got the Gutermann press somewhere there, and ships, stargazing. But yes, so 511 stitches were put in, so yeah, this is now at 51.47%, so I did 2.5% this year, which puts me at 10,368 in total. But yes, so, and then my next WIP that I started that year, this is the Glitter Village sale from, Oh, please hold. I always get these two mixed up. Where are we? Glitter Village. Country Cottage Needleworks. And again, I bought this as a full kit. So this is on the 32 count raw silver linen. That's called for, and I am stitching it all into one piece. So they did come as individuals with the alternative of stitching the 9 together. I still have not found piece number 9, so I will still be looking for that. But yeah, I did not do any progress in this year, I don't believe. Let's go back over to progress. Glitter Village. No, I didn't add anything into this year. So we are still on 10,000 stitches, so still 2/3 of the way through, just over, because I've got the first 2 rows done, and I just started on house number 7, which is here. But yeah, so nothing added to that one. So I think this uses the threads. What did it use? It uses one sparkly one, and I think it was the Classic Colour Needleworks threads is what it called for. So they're what I was using there. And then next piece I have is a Doodlecrafts Designs piece. This is the Coloris chessboard. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. It has been sort of designed with the DMC Coloris colours in mind. So it sort of was designed to be stitched with those, not just plain black as pictured. And you stitch this on 18 count Ada, and it would end up as a 15-inch square, which is the approximate size of a standard chessboard, so that you could then use standard chess pieces on it, which is what I'm doing. The colour that I picked for the Cloris was the 4515, which is sort of the blues and browns. So it's about the 930s range of blues and sort of 801 browns, that sort of colour. But yeah, so that's the colour pack I chose. Oh, let's put that there. And this one I don't think I worked on either. Where are we? No, so still at about 8,000 stitches, still at about 10%. Obviously it looks like I've done quite a lot with the squares, but the border is a lot of stitching, so that's why it's only 10%. But yeah, so I'm doing this on 18 count cream Ada that came with it. But yeah, so it's all of the squares are decorated with different blackwork patterns. So which is, you know, it's quite fun to do and quite interesting, especially with the using the Coloris threads, trying to get it so there isn't any really harsh sort of lines between where, you know, the colour changes sort of thing. So trying to sort of do it in a, you know, nice round is quite fun. But yeah, and I'm doing it, is it one, I think I'm doing the cross stitch border is in 2 strands, but the blackwork itself is just in the 1 strand there. But yes, I do need to get this one back out. Quite nice to do. Anyway, so there is that one. Next up, we have another full coverage one. So this one, I think, have we got onto the next date yet? This is the start of my the pieces that I started during my first 24 hours of cross stitch. So this was in April of 2019, and that year I set myself a goal of to start a new piece every hour. I had 24 new starts ready to go. I did not actually start all 24. I did get too tired. I think I tapped out at, was it 15 or 18? I still have 8 of them as WIPs though. So here's the start of these ones. So this is, I don't think I've got them in any particular order. So I can't remember exactly which order I started them in that day. So, no particular order. Here is the Turkish Angora DMC. So this is part of their cats range. So I have done the this one here, which I was going to call a Pomeranian then, that's a cat. It's a Persian. So I've done the Persian cat. I have that one. No, I don't have that one. I have the tuxedo cat. I have the Turkish Angora, but I don't have the tabby, so I still need to see if I can find that one. Anyway, I don't know if they still sell it. But anyway, so there's this one that I started, and I started it sort of just at the top left. Doing it, I never realised how hard doing your left and right is. The amount of trying to think of it after I've turned the chart round, and then I'm looking at a mirror image on the computer, on the screen, and trying to work out which is still left. It's very confusing. Anyway, I started in this blue section up here. Whether it's the left or the right, it's irrelevant. That is exactly where I started. There we go. Problem solved. So, but this year I put in 545 stitches. So again, I think this was one roll for my WIP board. But I did convert this to Royal Rose. I think that was last year I converted it to that, which is a sort of method of stitching devised by Alison Moyle. She does have a Facebook group, which I believe it's something Alison Moyle or Royal Rose Stitching, a variation of that. But basically it's where you so you do like a 10 by 20 square, and then you park, if that thread is carried into the next 10 by 20 column, you park over there. If it's not, then you park below, sort of thing. I mean, my thread conservation, I will extend it a bit further. So if, you know, if I want to park diagonally, or if it's like, well, I could stretch all the way over here, but that's closer, then I will just go below. You know, I try and conserve my thread slightly as well, and limit my counting. But yeah, so we're just working along a two block column along the top, and then I'll come back and we'll work across down. But yeah, so we've got an ear and just some more background there. So this came as a kit. So it's on a 14 count Ada as well. It's not too sharp, this, and also there isn't that much sizing in it, so there is starch to keep it sort of taut. Which I do mention it quite a lot, and I'm aware that a lot of people probably don't understand what I mean by that. I think the only reason I know is because I used to work in a store that sold fabric and things, so that's where I learned that from. But basically, some Ada, have you ever, especially really cheap Ada, if you hold it up to the light, you can see that there's like a film going in between where the holes of the Ada should be, the bits that you put your needle through. That it kind of looks like those holes are closed, and that's if there's really heavy sizing on it. It's like a really sizing, it can be a lot of different things depending on the company, but it is a chemical, and it's like a chemical starch, and it can be really thick, and the stronger the starch is, the stiffer your fabric will be, which is really good if you need a really stiff fabric, like the collars, shirt collars, edges of a shirt, you know, bits of coat, things that you need to stand up and be really sharp. That's great. Something that you need to be able to like use in your hands and scrunch up, not so good. So some companies use a lighter sizing or a lighter starch that kind of you barely really notice. Some companies, you know, once it's been washed, it sort of washes out and then it's not there at all. The majority of hand dyed fabrics won't have much sizing in because they've bought the bottle and then they've washed it and dyed it, and that's kind of dissolved out most of the sizing. So, you know, that way around. But anyway, lesson complete. So here it is, using the DMC threads. It's a DMC kit. So I wonder if it says who the actual designer is on here. Jane Netley Mayhew. I really like Jane Netley Mayhew's animals. I have a couple of her books. So it just made me smirk when I saw that, and I'm like, of course I like it, and of course it's hers, and I like it. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, you bought me a fishy. Oh, you bought me a fishy. Look what you found. Oh, you clever hunter. Yeah, you vicious hunter girl. Yeah. Oh, clever girl. Right. Thank you for that, Coco. Right. Where was I? So 1,000 stitches into it this year, and which I believe was a roll on my WIP Parade board, which leaves me at so I basically doubled what I'd already stitched. So I'm now at 7.05%, with a total of 2,030 stitches into it. But yes, so that is that one. Then next, oh, I'm getting a bit chunky at the back. So next we have, this is a Michael Powell piece. So this is Place du Marche, which it comes as 3 separate pieces, but they can be stitched together as a triptych like this, which is what I'm doing. So I'm starting on the that corner over there, which is actually section 3 of the triptych. It's the restaurant up there. I did mention, oh, cat hair up my nose. I did mention when I stitched the last piece that I had realised I'd made a bit of a mistake, but it was not one that I was going to try and fix. But it may be that I need to buy some more threads, because I hadn't really realised that the sky, the background to all of this, was supposed to be stitched in half stitches. I hadn't realised that, but then by the time I had realised it was when I was in this sort of chimney right in that corner, and I realised that the same colour is used for both the sky and the chimney in that section. But once you get the back stitch line in, that's when you can find the difference in it. However, because the same symbol is used, I couldn't decipher. Then I was like, well, which stitches are supposed to be the half stitch sky and which stitches are supposed to be like the building? Because some of the buildings got like windows and gaps and bits in it. So I'm like, well, like the bell tower, like, is that bit sky or not? Like, once you get it complete and get the back stitch in, then I'll be able to tell probably which bits are. But right now I'm like, you know, I was sort of like, is which one of these, where do I put my line, sort of thing. And I thought, well, I could get the picture out and I could blow the picture up and I could sit and like, I thought, you know what, I thought if I wanted to change, I'd either have to unpick all of this that I'd done or restart in the opposite corner and deal with this later. I thought that's a lot of stitches to have to unpick and restart. So I'm just going to continue with the full stitches for the board, for the background. I might need to rebuy, you know, buy extra threads for those colours, but that will be a problem for future me. And I will sort of be able to work on fading those in if and when that does become a problem. But still, rant over. So this is on the, I bought it as a full kit from one of the shows, knit and stitch shows. So it uses a 28 count even weave, and it's using anchor because Michael Powell uses anchor threads. And yeah, we've got a steeple. So Place du Marche is this line here. So I added 708 stitches this year, which I sort of finished off. I'm trying not to cover my face, but like I don't have the right amount of space. Let's scooch you over a bit, and then I can hold here. That's better. So I finished the bottom of this bell tower, and then I worked on the chimney and the roof of this building here. How I'm working it, I'm just like, I did start with working full rows, but then I didn't want a harsh line to appear because I'm putting the 3 pieces together. They are actually stitched as charted as 3 separate pieces, so I will have to deal with that line eventually. But I'm kind of starting with a thread and vaguely working it as far as it'll go in this direction, or as far as I can comfortably count on the chart. So I'm working this as a paper chart, and so sometimes deciphering the symbols it's slightly harder, because you know you sometimes will miss, if there's just one stitch of a colour down here, you might miss it. So I'm trying to go as far as I'm confident with, and then I will just park the threads, and I'll put a little highlight dot on the chart where I've parked, and I will work with that later. But yeah, so I'm just kind of vaguely working in this direction and down, and that's my plan. So I am at 0.87%, at a total of 2,658 stitches in here, out of, does it say how many? No. Oh, out of about 305,000. So this is quite a big piece when it all gets together. But yes, I believe this piece will finish bigger than my bath time piece. So what did I say that one was? Yeah, so this is bigger than my bath time piece when it finishes. So I suppose this will be more of a focus when I do finish bath time, since it's kind of on par size wise with that one. But yes, so next we have so this is Afternoon Nap. This is a Bothy Threads piece, designed by Hannah Dale of Rendale Designs, and this is three little fox cubs having an afternoon nap. So this one I have not worked on since that day when I put those stitches in way back in 2019. How many stitches had I put into that one? 60. There's 60 stitches in the very centre of this, and they're in white. Where are we? Here. There we go. You can sort of see just there, and then a couple there. I think that's the muzzle. It's kind of this area of one of the foxes. But that's it. So this is a kit. Came as a kit, sorry. So it uses the 14 count spotty Ada that they all come with. But yes, because I do have another Rendale piece on the go that has got more progress in than this. This year I am going to pop this one away and just focus on the other one, and then once that's finished, this one will come up, because I do actually have more than I do have more Rendale Designs pieces to start, but yeah, but I don't want to start too many of them until I actually get you know, some complete. So there we go. So yeah, no progress in that one this year. Right, so I'm going to pause here and get my next stack out. Okay, let's go. Put the light on already, so I'm probably a bit orange from over here, but we'll see how we go on. So my next piece is my other Bothy threads. So this is Awakening, which is again by Hannah Rendale. No, Hannah Dale from Rendale, and this one is a little curled up hedgehog. I'm just trying to work out which way up my piece is. Yes, I think I've got it the right way. I think what I've got here is his paw. Where are we? There. So just his little paw coming across, which is here. So little paw, and then across to the edge. So this piece I put in, try again, 718 stitches into this piece, for a total of 778. So again, I'd started it on the 24 hours across stitch with the 70 stitches, obviously, and now I've done a bit more. So this is again on the 14 count kit fabric with the kit threads. But yes, so like I said, this is going to be the one that I keep in my rotation, so that hopefully I can get some more progress on it. But there we go. So that is my other So where am I? Oh, I'm almost at 10% with that one, so a lot closer. Now, next we have the Winter Sampler. This is Cooler Design Studios piece. The kit was sold by Janlin, and I saw Brian at Blitz Stitch stitching on this piece. And out of all the 4 seasons, I do like autumn as my favourite season, but out of their designs, this was one of my favourite ones. Sorry, this was my favourite one. But yes, so I started up here and I'm working vaguely in this direction. So I've done a piece of the snowflake border here, and I've just done this countdown here. But yeah, and where are we? Oh, I didn't highlight these ones. I put in 615 stitches this year, which was this piece up here. I had originally started with this piece, but then I missed a line out in between, and then I'd done this whole piece before realising, and it was easier for me to unpick the blue and move it 1 row up than unpick all of this and move that a row down. So that's what I did. And this is on a piece of Cloud Brown 36 count, I believe. I have once again put the sub edge. Oh no, it's the 28. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. 28 count from Fabric Flair. So yeah, even weave, very soft. So yeah, so there is that one. Then next up we have. Try and put that down. We have Maps and Mythology. So this is out of a magazine. The magazine I got it from is Ultimate Cross Stitch Travels, Volume 16, 2018. But all of these Ultimate Cross Stitch books are amalgamations of like their other magazines. So it will be in the magazine somewhere. And it is a piece by Maria Diaz. And it's this piece here. So quite a smallish piece, but I've still managed to, drag it out. So, like I said again, this one was started on the 24 hours of cross stitch. So, and I didn't do any work in it this year, but here's where we are. Oh, okay, that's supposed to be there. So yeah, so Africa, still working on Asia. And yeah, so this is a piece of 32 count, I want to say even weave, but it doesn't look perfectly even. So it might be one of those sort of linen even weaves. And I'm working it over one, just going to make it quite a small little cute piece. I suppose over one is probably why it hasn't had as much progress on. But yeah, but I'm getting there. So that is this one. And where are we? We are on, we're about 10%, about 1,000 stitches done, so 10% down I've put that as. So yeah, getting there. So my next piece is my Mirabilia. Which is a portrait of Veronica. I have her picture here. So this was this is the first mirror that I started. I believe it was my first Fancy Lady that I ever started. And I'm doing this one for as a Marie Curie piece, so in memory of Marie Curie, who is still the only person ever to have won 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. But yes, so in the green because of all her work on radium and radioactive elements, which don't necessarily glow green, but there we go. So I worked 1,874 stitches in here, and I just basically worked down with the dress. So I kind of did a 10 one block, you know, 10 stitch row, and just I finished this here because that's like one of these sashes. So I finished that, but then just sort of worked my way along, and then part there. So I'm converting skin to over 1. I still have the rest of a hand to do. I am recharting the hand. It's mainly recharting the back stitch for the hand. The shading's okay. I just don't like the way the fingers are drawn in either of our hands, so I am changing that. But yeah, and I got this as a full kit from Hawkins Hobbies with the called for 32 count. No, I don't have it written there either. Star Sapphire, I think is what it was. It's the old witch elt, so it's not a great fabric to work on. I personally don't like it, it's very slubby. But I'm going there. So yeah. So I am at almost 30. So I'm at 29.69% with 11,874 stitches done. So yeah. So that is Veronica. My next piece is a Maria Brovko piece. Do I have the picture? Yes, I do. Ooh. So this is Sea in the Bottle. Which is there. It's got a orca and a ship in the bottle, and then seashells along the bottom. I started at the bottom. I think because mainly when I counted for the middle, we were somewhere in this empty space of the bottle, and I just thought I'll start at the bottom and work up instead. So it's from her Etsy store, and I didn't put any progress into this one this year, so it's still sitting at 3.3% with 500 stitches done. And it's just this line of background, mainly half stitches for the background at the bottom, behind the shells. So yeah, that is on a 28 count even weave, nice soft even weave, but a cream one. But yeah, so that is that one. Then my next piece that I started, so we've finished our 24 hours of cross stitch now. This piece was started Christmas 2019, and it is my Animal Kingdom, Amazing Animal Kingdom. So I will put the photos in for this one. It's Heaven and Earth Designs, charted by, so artwork by Amy Stewart. And this one I am starting in the bottom left and working in, again, 20 stitch diagonals upwards. This is, I'm working on a 28 count, 2 stitches, 10th stitch over 1, using all the called for DMCs. It has 234 colours, I believe. Probably should check that before I said it out loud. But yes, it's the max colour supersized version. So this one, when it finishes, will be 764,235 stitches. It is my biggest piece, and I have it on a scroll frame that my dad made for me because I couldn't find a scroll frame big enough at the time. We're at the cusp of like lots of new animals on my next stripe. I basically did lots of legs and feet and things on this stripe. So as we're going into next year, we'll be seeing, I think it's an ostrich, a meerkat, a wolf, another bird, a penguin, an orca, a cheetah. But yes, so I have lots of like starts of animals. So as we go on to the next stripe, hopefully we'll get a bit more of them coming through. So this year it was part of my WIP Go, and I put in 38,212 stitches, which brought me up to a nice round 20%. So I'm exactly 1/5 of the way through, with a total of 152,851 stitches. So yeah, we're a fifth of the way through. A bit behind. My goal had been to get this completed within 20 years. I think I'm 1 year behind. But you know, we'll keep plodding along. I am using this as on my WIP Go again for the coming year, so hopefully that will get quite a bit of progress again. But yes, so that is my biggest project that I have. But yeah, I don't know how long my video is going to be of me panning across that. Hopefully it's finished by now. If not, I will have to just pause me talking while I complete that video. So there we go. So my next project is another full coverage. This is Kingdom of Books by Adriana. But I bought it as a kit. So it is on 14 count fabric and uses the called for colours. I believe there's 60 colours in this one. Had I thought about it, I could have done this on a hand-dyed piece and then I probably wouldn't have had to do the background. But I've already got quite a chunk through and don't really feel like restarting. So it does use 3 strands, mainly because you use 3 strands for the books, 2 strands here and 1 strand for the back, like what's through the through there. So you use a different number of strands depending on the depth that you're working. And I started in the middle and I'm working outwards. I didn't work on this one this year, so we're still at this bit. So I finished that background piece through the gates. Pretty much finished this book, just starting on the green one. But yeah, and the clock towers. I'm going to use the clock hands on the towers to put the date that I finish. I'm going to put I'm not sure whether I'll put the month and the year or just the year of start and the year of finish. I've not decided that yet. But yeah, so there's that one. Very colourful. And like I said, this is on the 14 count as called for. But yeah, so there's that one. And then next, try not to get anything too tangled. We have the Woodland Sow. This is by Lakeside Needlecraft. I believe it's a Doreen Jones, but it might not be. So I started this one. I started the Kingdom of Books and this one. These were all started the 1st of January 2020. So again, these are my New Year, New Starts. So the Wooden Sow, I haven't put any work into this one. So it's still at 1,558 stitches complete. It was a piece for an animal for each of the 12 months. So you had 4 animals along, 3 animals down. So this was the first animal. So I've left a space over this side of the camera, but I keep trying to like lean over instead of just holding it on this side. Right, so it was a barn owl, this one. And this is on the called for fabric, which again I've put the selvage in. It says Woodland Even Weave 36 count. So it was a piece specially dyed for, specially printed for Lakeside Needlecraft. But yeah, so I'm stitching I believe it's it's a combination of 1/2 and 2/2. I think it's 1/2 for this border edge here, and then 2/2 for the actual owl. But yeah, so there is that one. Then next is my last piece from 2020. Again, started this in January 2020. This is a Little Dove Designs High Street, that's what it's called. So there are six shops on the street. I have almost finished shop number 4 still, so I'm still sat at about 8,000 stitches. Yeah, 8,000 stitches sat at. I've made lots of changes to this as I've gone along. once I actually finish it, I will go through all the changes properly. But sort of adding in French knots for the topiaries and inserting my cat Lucy here, using fabric, actual fabric for the dresses in the boutique. But yes, so this is, I bought it as a full kit, so it's on 14 count Dove Grey Ada, and using the cord 4 DMC, apart from those changes that I've already mentioned. But yeah, so no progress on that one this year, so still at about 53%. And then next is we're into 2021. So yeah, 1st of January, so this is my new year, new start for 2021, and is Harriet Salt, which is by Hands Across the Sea, and that is this one here. This is one of their big Bristol orphanage samplers, and it's Harriet Salt 1866, orphan number 1628. It's this one here. And I'm starting at the top and sort of working just in the rows. And I'm working on 56 count, 1 strand over 2. And I'm using, slightly out of reach, oh there we go, I'm using a Silks For You silk. This is PR 148, which is lovely sort of blues and purples and pinks. So that is this one. And we are on alphabet number 3. And this year I put in 900 stitches on the dot. So I must have rolled a 9 on my WIP Parade board. Try and grab the board. There we go. So the fabric is by Extreme Designs. I basically asked for a kind of greyish pink, and this is what she did for me. So yeah, so I've done 2 alphabets, and I'm just on the 3rd alphabet here. I believe the 900 stitches that I've done was this whole 3rd row, give or take. So yeah, there. Again, I am trying to keep the colour changes smooth as I go through the letters. But yeah, that's it. So that is that one. So yeah, 900 stitches put in, which was about another 1%. So that puts me at 2.2% with 1,875 stitches complete. That sounds like there's something missing. Yes, I haven't added the 900 that I just said. So I'm at 2,775 stitches complete in that one, which is 3.2%. So there we go. And yeah, and that's just a nice one to plod along. I really love working with the silk. So it's a really nice sort of meditative one to be working along with. But yes, and oh, I did want to say so Harriet also, at the end of her alphabets there is often sort of some space, and what she's entered, what she's stitched instead are a series of strings of numbers and sort of sometimes letters, which from what oh gosh, my brain's not working. Who is it that does Hands Across the Sea? Oh gosh, Nicola Parkman. What her research has shown is that these strings of numbers tend to be numbers that are important to the girls. So mainly things like their bed numbers or their friends' bed numbers, numbers that are important to them. So that's what I'm going to be doing as well. So having to think about what what numbers or dates that I might want to enter, sort of dates of birth of sort of my family or friends that I might want to put in there. So at the minute I'm trying to make a list of all the spaces where these odd numbers have been entered, so I can work out how much space I've got to play with in terms of the numbers I want to put in. So I think I have the end of this line is the first time some numbers appear. So by the time I get to the end of line 3, I need to have worked out what I'm going to be putting there. I mean, I don't have to, like, I can stitch it all and come back to those gaps later, but like it would be nice to sort of add it in as I'm going. But yes, so there we go. Right, so we're about the halfway mark, I think. So carrying on. This is a piece I started on my birthday of 21, so the end of January 2021. And this is a Dimensions kit. This is Max the cat, which is set as a triptych. I have swapped the fabric out for this one, and I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus instead of the called for 14 count, just because I don't like stitching on the Ada that comes with the Dimensions kits. I don't believe I have worked on this year. No, I haven't. So I'm still at 5,104 stitches, which is 22.6%. So still on the first cat, the top one. But yeah, there he is. Still plugging away, but yes. Oh, that's a parked thread. I was like, why is there a loose thread there? It's just a piece that's been parked. So, oh, next step. Let's turn that down a bit. It's getting a bit warm in here now. Right. So next up we have. Let's put you down there. My chatelaine. This was another birthday start that year. So yeah, it started 2021, and I put in 943 stitches this year into it. I do believe which this way is up. These few stitches here are the only way that guides me. So they are marked on the chart, so I know which way's up when I get the chart out. But I believe the selve edge of the fabric did go to the top. So yeah, still working on the middle. This is Pomerium. I think I've done I'm sort of doing this. I'm also doing the specialty stitches as I go as well. So I know the chart says to just do all the crosses, then go back and do all the specialty stitches, and then the beads. But I found trying to leave the spaces where the specialty stitches were going was sort of, it involved a lot of counting. So it was just as easy for me to kind of pick the next colour out and then go round whatever stitch that happened to be. So I am at a total of 3,443 stitches, which is about 3%. So still pottering along. I believe apart from beads, everything's filled in now. So all of these white bits in the centre, these here, these are all actually beads now. So I'm just starting to work on sort of this, filling in these gaps here. The beads I will be leaving to last, just because when I get this into sort of a Q-snap or a scroll frame, I don't want to be crushing a lot of the beads or some of the beads to be coming loose where I'm putting it on and off a scroll frame and chucking it in that bags for, you know, however long. So putting the beads on will be something I do all at the end. I may live to regret that choice, but for now that's my plan. So there we go. So, and I bought this as the kit from European Cross Stitch Company. So it is all the called for threads, beads, sparklies, and I believe it's on a piece of 32 count. Yeah, a piece of 32 count linen. Doesn't look big enough for 28, so I think it's 32. But yeah, there we go. So that is that piece. Next we are on to the 1st of April 21, when I started Pandemic. This is a long dog samplers. I did get this when it was offered for free back in 2020, 2021. Pandemic, let's see. And this year I put in 1,063 stitches. So I sort of finished this piece here, and I've worked on these 2 stripes up here. But yeah, so I'm working this with the white undyed Silks for You, and the fabric, it's nice fabric, but the dyer is no longer dyeing at the minute, so it's all sort of purples and greens and blues and pinks. But yes, so that is that one, and that puts me at 21.39%, which is 16,525 stitches. So yeah, just over a fifth of the way on that one now as well. So next up we have, scrolling down, we're going into 2022. So this was my one of my 2022 January new starts, and this is Medusa. This is a piece from Unconventional Cross Stitch, and the please hold, the design is, I did not write that down, so I can't remember who did the original artwork. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure who did the original artwork for this, but I didn't do any work on it this year, so it's still at 3,030 stitches, which is 1.63%, which is just this top right corner here, which is just the feathers in her hair. That percentage might be slightly off because I am going to also be not, so I'm not stitching the background, so I got the fabric to do the non-background version, but I'm also trying to pull out the moon as well, so I won't be stitching the moon either. But yeah, and this is a piece of 40 count linen from Sparkly's, and it was a piece called Medusa's Gaze. It was a specialty dye. It's really not showing up now that the light's fading, but it's sort of, it's like a stone colour, like a granite stone, so sort of greys and greens, yellows. But yeah, very similar to how the border of the piece would have been had I stitched the border. But yes, so there is that one. And I'm just doing this in 10 stitch diagonals for parking, half stitch, 1 strand, because it's the 40 count, and it's quite confetti heavy where I am at the minute. I'm just finding it a bit too much to try and do the 20 stitches with sheer amount of threads that I'm using. So 10 stitch diagonals it is for now. But yeah, so then what the next piece that I started in 2022 was the Wonders of the Solar System Sal by Climbing Goat Designs, and I started this in January 22 as well, and I've still just had the outlines of my 2 hemispheres of the sky. So that's 1,319 stitches, which is just over 8%. A lot of the work with Bean Stars is all backstitch, so once I get these borders in and the outer borders, there shouldn't really be that much more work to do. Lots of counting, but not too much actual stitching. So yeah, and I'm stitching this on a piece of 18 count Ada in a black that has been dyed, so it's kind of a bit of a mottly black in places. But yes, so there is that piece. Oh, and next we are moving on to 2023. So pieces that I started in 2023. So my New Year New Starts was this piece by the Steady Thread. So this is one of their year-long sort of stitch-alongs that you do get for free if you collect the pieces as you go throughout the year. So I collected all the pieces, haven't done all the stitching yet. But this is as far as I got. So I got part of the border done and a handful of the squares done, so 6 of the squares. I believe there's 48, they're not squares, they're hexagons, 48 hexagons on it. But yes, and this is a piece of Nantucket 28 count even weave from Fabric Flair. And I'm using one of the thread packs from Zoe at Paintbox Threads. This is her, it's one of her garden pieces, especially purples and greens, purples and teals, but I'm using that one for that. So I didn't work on that one at all this year, so I am still at 10% with 1,000 stitches done. But yeah, so still pottering along with that one. Then my next piece, also January, was the Dark Queen of the Earth. So this is the second in the Dark Queen series by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I bought this as a kit, so it's on the called for linen or even weave. So it's called for even weave with all the called for threads. And this one I put in 998 stitches this year. So far I believe I did these orbs, the flower, the orb down here was the last thing I did on here. Still have the other corner to put in over there, and then her head, and then the back stitch, and I'm pretty sure that's all I've got left to go in. Oh, and that's it, I've just started her legs down here. That's what I'd started last. So I'm doing a combination of the brown skin and the green skin version, and I'm converting the skin to over 1. So I want to use the hair from the brown skin version, so the curly hair that I'm going to do with French knots, but the horns and the crown from the green version. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to count down from here to where the horns are supposed to be and stitch her face up, and then kind of in between them where the horns end and her face ends, that will just be hair. So, and I'm hoping that will match up nice. But yeah, at the minute, just doing this piece down here, so the grasses and her legs. But yes, so that is that piece, and I'm at 59.19% with a total of 8,879 stitches done. So there's still a lot of stitching to do, partly because a lot of it's French knots and skin, which is over 1. So when you're converting the skin from over 2 to over 1, you multiply the stitch count by 4. But yes, so lots to be done on there. Next up we have, this is a piece that I believe my sister bought me this piece. So this is a Bothy Threads. This is Rachel Froud design, and it's one of the animal series that she has, the Menagerie series. So this is Illusion, this is the chameleon. I believe my sister has done the parrot, and there's a whole series of animals. Some are more in colours that the animal is expected to be in, and some are kind of rainbowy effect like these. They all have a printed background, sort of matches in with there. I've not worked on this one this year, so the green background is printed, and I've just sort of started in the middle and I'm working out from there. But yeah, so this is at 4% with 600 stitches done. But yeah, it's 14 count Ada. It's called Tropical Island, but it's basically the cord for it came as a kit. So yeah, there we go. There is that one. And Another Fancy Lady is next. So this was the last piece I started in January of 23, and this is Enchantress of the Abyss. And this is my the first Bella that I started. Actually, I believe it's the only Bella I have started. I have others that I've got kitted up ready to go. This is the only one that's started. And here is Enchantress of the Abyss. And there. And I'm stitching this on, oh, I haven't got the fabric written down. It is a piece of 32 count though, I believe. And it was dyed by Sparklies. And I can't remember what it's called. Something underwatery, tropically. I can't remember. But anyway, sorry. But I started in the middle. I put this chart into Pattern Keeper. So yeah, I started in the middle on her hair, and yeah, that's it. I didn't stitch at all on it this year. So we're still at 6.34% with 1,902 stitches done. And I just sort of started in the middle of her hair there. That is not helping. I should get out of the packet. There we go. But yeah, so just started in the middle with her hair. But yeah. So there is that one. And, oh, it is under there somewhere. I folded the other piece of fabric in half, so it's leaning over. But yeah. My next piece is Market Stall. I started this on September the 16th, 2023. And this is another full coverage piece by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. Oh, and I'm stitching this over one on a piece of 36 count cloud brown. Not because any of the fabric, it's a full coverage design, so none of the fabric will show through, but just I happen to have a piece big enough in my stash. And I figure, just in case some of the fabric shows through, it kind of, the beigey I think is less stark than a white would be, so it works fine. But I'm doing this one strand half cross on 36 count, and I've put in 545 stitches this year, making me up to 0.72%, with a total of 2,842 stitches out of 393,000. So actually I think this one is also bigger than my Place du Marche piece. So yes, but I am cropping this one, but I haven't decided yet how much to crop it. So the reason, because I haven't decided how much I want to crop the piece by, I started the chart in the middle, so that by the time I've kind of worked my way to the edges, I'll have worked out how much I want to crop by. So I started this one slap bang in the middle. So these are some bright yellow flowers right in the middle. This is the red of the flower stall. And I'm working in 10 stitch. This next stripe will be my first 20 stitch diagonal, but I'm basically doing diagonals in a diamond for that, using Pattern Keeper to mark out those lines. But yes. So yeah, this next, I've not quite finished this stripe going this way, and that's my first stripe of the 20 stitches, I believe. But yeah, lots of colours, lots of confetti right in the middle. But yeah, so much confetti, you can tell my needle minders have to be quite close to hold all of these threads out of the way. But yes, so there we go. So that is my Market Stall. Oh, flop that back over. So yeah, I've got a couple of quite big heids on the go. Quite big full coverages on the go, sorry. But yeah, that's my newest one on September the 16th. Right, last view, and I'm hoping I can get this done before the light goes too much more. So, next up we have the Mermaids of the Sea, which was the Bella Filipina stitch along from, oh, I've scrolled up, 2023. So I started this at the retreat it was November. It was the retreat day at the Essex Needles retreats is when we used to do the separate day. No, it can't have been November, it must have been the regular October one, because I believe, no, I'm getting myself backwards now. I've gone through so many WIPs, I'm getting so confused. This I started, we had the Christmas meal at that retreat day, and yes, it was just like a one night, one day sort of thing, and I started this out. So this is a piece of Megan Coffee Craft fabric, and it is the opal 28 count linen in kind of all greens and blues, and I just started on the first mermaid there. That's put the needle away. Oh, my needles aren't on the magnet. There we go. Didn't put any work in this year, so she's still at 5.58% with 807 stitches. But yeah, so that is that one. And then next up we have the Arctic Animals Sal by Pumpkin. Oh gosh. No, I'm lost now. Frosted Pumpkin. There we go. Yeah, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So this is on a piece of 40 count Megan's. It is a lot more purple than it shows up on the camera. And yeah, so little Arctic fox, and I've sort of started over here the ground that I believe the walrus is sitting on. So I'm doing one strand over two in the DMC as called for. Actually, I believe this is in raw broderie threads. But I did 246 stitches this year. I believe I only stitched on it when there was a Stitch With Me with Frosted Pumpkin, and I believe all I did was the border going along, just along here, sort of see it there. So I'm at 5.3% with a total of 772 stitches done on that one. And this was started a year later, so this was started in September. Yeah, September 2024. So that's the only WIP I've still got from 2024. So now we're into projects that I started this year. My New Year New Start was Avocado Toast, which is a piece by Carolyn Manning Designs, and this is on another piece of 36. Is it 36? Nope, I can't find the. I've put my clamp over the bit where it says what the fabric is. That is very inconvenient. No, it's 32. There we go. No, I'll get there in a minute. So this is a piece of 32 count cloud brown. My favourite neutral. Obviously, I've got 3 projects on this now. But yes, and a piece by Carolyn Manning. So I just started in the middle and I'm working my way out, kind of trying to go around with each colour that I pick, sort of thing. It's there we go. But yeah, so far this year I have done 12.34%, so 1 2 3 4, with 4,500 stitches put into it this year. It's quite a nice easy one to get going with because it's all just diamonds and triangles. You can sort of think, well, I need to do a diamond here, so I can just stitch the shape. I don't need to keep checking the back on the pattern. So it's quite a nice nice one just to sit on. And I did buddy stitch this with buddy start it, so with Dobby, and I have a needleminder from Dobby on here too. But yeah, so there's that one. And then my next start, I started this at the end of January, and this is my A Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. This was their first Year in the Woods set, and I started with a fox. I'm stitching all the seasons together, so like all the winter ones are on one piece, all the spring ones on one piece. So the fox was it January's piece? Yeah, number 1. So that's in the middle of this, and then I've got the December piece, and the February piece will also go on here for winter. And I'm stitching this. It's on a 28 count piece by Megan. This is an even weave, and yeah, just started on the tail of the fox and worked around. And this is at almost 40% for this one, because the bulk of the stitching is in the body of the fox. Obviously, once I've got the body of the fox done, there's like a little house up here somewhere. Where are we? There, and then it's just a few leaves, a few snowflakes. So yeah, so I'm at 3,147 stitches for this one. But yeah, there's that one. Then my next start, I started this one for my 5th year Flosstube anniversary, and this piece was gifted to me by a lovely lady at the retreat. Because it looks just like my Coco, so she stitched this piece and then gifted me the chart afterwards with the kit. So I had her leftover floss threads, and I dug out my DMC colour chart. I have the chart that has the actual threads on, and I basically laid the threads out and I matched up all the numbers as best I could, and then ordered new threads for this. But yeah, so it's a Lanate kit. It is from their Animals cross stitch collection, and it's called Forest Cat. And I started it so yeah, 1st of May for my Flosstube anniversary, and I've put in 1,321 stitches, which puts me at almost 7%, and that's just her face there. So I've done the ears, and I'm just sort of working down, kind of parking. I'm sort of taking a 10 stitch stripe column, no, 10 stitch row, and just stitching everything in that row as I go down. And this is a piece of Fabric Flare fabric, and where's the selvage? I should have checked that before I started. No, that's not the selvage. Haha, experiment. Oh, it's over this side. It's called Misty Lilac, and it is a 36 count even weave. So it's got up here, it's got flowers and, well, the lilacs. So it has got some flowers up in this corner that's just sort of bent round here. And then it's just like a nice pastel colour for the rest of it. But yeah, so there's... Try and flatten this all back down again. There we go. But yeah, so there she is. Then next up, I have one of my most recent starts, which I started on the 21st of December with the lovely Jenna at Red-Headed Stitcher, and this is our penguin sal, so our Pick Up a Penguin sal, and this is the penguin mandala from Maloka Designs, and I got it out of the magazine. However, it is available on her website, and I believe she has an Etsy as well. But yeah, started at the bottom and worked my way up. So this is the body of the penguin, and yeah, so just working around the middle of the belly there. So I've put in 1,464 stitches, which has me at 23.7%. So almost a quarter of the way through this one. But yes, and I've just found one of these, but I'm not sure where it came from. So it's obviously popped off one of these projects here, so I will have to replace that when I'm done. But yeah, and this is from a piece of again, piece of Megan's fabric, and it is a opalescent 28 count opalescent, 2 strands over 2. But yeah, so, and that is, oh, was it 28? Since I'll check, yeah, 28 count. And then my final start for the year, which is, oh, let's pop that away up there, which is still on my frame, so please bear with me. And this is my Christmas stocking piece from Stony Creek Stony Creek collection. So it's their Christmas in the Woods book 480, and I'm stitching this stocking here. I saw this on the finishes table at one of the retreats. I really loved it, so that's the one I'm stitching this year. And this is my sort of I want to have it done in a year sort of piece, my goal. So hopefully I'm planning on having this finished for Christmas 2026. And I've just started at the bottom, and this is on a piece of 28 count opalescent linen, again from Megan. And yeah, I'm just starting just at the bottom underneath here. So there we go. And I've put in 900 and, well, no, I've put in about another 70 stitches this morning, so just over 1,000 stitches in that, which puts me at about 4%. But yeah, so my goal is to do about 2,000 or something. No, about 20. I think it's 2,400. Especially 2 stripes, two a 20 stitch row. I worked out because the chart is 240-ish stitches high. So I thought if I do 20 stitches a month and everything in that 20 stitch row, I should, in theory, have it done by Christmas. But yes, so there we go. And that is my final start for the year and my final WIP for the year. So that and the rather pile that rather unceremoniously just toppled over there. But yeah, so that is all my WIPs done. So we are at about 178,000 stitches for the year. There's still a few days left. So I will be, obviously, in my goals video and plans, I will have a final total of the number of stitches that I've stitched on. But yeah, so that is all my WIPs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. If I've not shown anything that you were expecting to see, that means I've probably finished it. So I will have to also show all my finishes at some point. However, some of them I no longer have because they've been gifted. So I have to see if I've got photos of things that I finished this year that I can insert. So I might have to do that as something else another day. Because if I wait to add it onto here, then this won't end up getting posted until the new year, and then I've got other things going on. So yeah, so I'll have my finishes somewhere else, maybe in my December review. But yeah, so that's all my WIPs. I'm not entirely sure how long it is because I did have to keep stopping and starting. So at the minute it only says 15 minutes. I don't know how many more minutes there were before that. So hopefully it's not been too long. Hopefully you had remember to get a nice hot drink for that. And yeah, all done. I'm gonna tidy up and I will see you in the next video. So thank you very much if you are still watching, and I love you lots, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. So a bit behind the scenes, here's my pile. That pile does go all the way down to the floor. That's all stitching all the way down. All the way down to the floor. So yeah, it's like what's that, like 2.5, 3 feet. But yeah, wish me luck.